Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning to everyone. Wishing you happy and good things ahead. Thank you for coming on this session. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Sonia Shayamiti Muhammad Sukardi from the Digital Department as a moderator for today. We are all concerned about global warming issue. As you can see, we have our 4 panels for today. These brilliant and clever panels for today bring exclusively to you all. Let me introduce our first panel for today. His name is Nur Adnan Hamidi Chiari from Meteorological Department 2. Our second panel for today is Nur Nabila Binti Azmi from Environment Department. Our third panel for today is Nur Zahia Adima from Energy and Climate Change Department, ECC. And last panel for today, panel 4, is Nur Ajisha Kamati Abdullah from Agricultural Department. Wishing you welcome on this panel discussion today. Thank you, and generous.
Assalamualaikum. I'm Adana Ziha SP1, representing the Meteorology Department.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Zahia binti Muhammad Fadilah as Panel 2. I am from Department of Energy and Climate Change.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Nabila binti Azmi. I am Panel 3 from Department of Environment.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Narisha Syafiqah binti Abdullah. I am from Department of Agriculture. Today I'm the 4th panel for this forum.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your information, if panel 1 pointed out her view, another panel can interrupt and give from her own point of view. That we call for counter argument. So I, as a moderator, I approve that. Okay. So without wasting more time, we go through to our first panel for today, Ms. Adriana. Ms. Adriana, what's your point of view on this topic? Yes, this is one of the hot topic issues. So, what are your facts and give your evidence and your solution or suggestions if there are any?
Thank you, moderator. The fact related which this global warming is greenhouse gases are higher now than at any time in the last 800,000 years. Temperature change occur due to the addition of greenhouse gases that are spread out into the atmosphere. The greenhouse effect occurs when the composition of certain gases increases uncontrollably and exceeds the desired normal level. This sharp increase is due to the level of burning of fossil fuels, coal, and other organic fuels. According to the World Meteorological Organization, WMO has published its annual greenhouse gas bulletin, which reports that in 2017, carbon dioxide concentration have reached their highest level in 800,000 years. This greenhouse effect also has caused Greenland and Antarctica to begin to melt and cause sea levels to rise. I obtained this information from a journal article. WMO report, global greenhouse gas concentration highest in 800,000 years. WMO has stated that average global temperature in January until September 2017 are higher than pre-industrial times and many islands exposed to sea rise. The another factor related with this global warming is rainforest destruction is a major.
Excuse me, I want to argue with the first point of Adriana about the facts of the global warming. I disagree with the point that state greenhouse give disadvantages to the earth. It because greenhouse gases are very beneficial to protect all living things on earth from harmful solar radiation. They block harmful parts of the solar radiation and reflect it back into the atmosphere. An example is UV or ultraviolet radiation. Ozone is one of the major greenhouse gases that acts as a shield against UV rays that enter the earth. If there was no ozone layer, there would be no resistance to UV rays and they would reach us directly. Kidd et al. In 2017 state that when sunlight reaches the surface of the earth, it is partially absorbed with warmth the earth and some jumps back into the space as heat. A large amount of greenhouse gas that is in the atmosphere attracts and then emits some of this heat back to earth. The greenhouse effect, the most important factor factors in keeping the Earth warm, and without the greenhouse effects, the Earth's average global temperature would be cooler.
Thank you, panel 1. Let's move to panel 2 to discuss about this hot issue. Ms. Nurzahia, what is your point of view and your suggestions to prevent this global warming issue?
Thank you, moderator. My view on this topic is causes of global warming. My first point is the burning of fossil fuels. Here are some of the most important global warming factors to be aware of. The burning of fossil fuels for power is one of the major causes of global warming, as is the operation of automobiles. As we all know, toxic chemicals are produced when fossil fuels are burned. This applies not just to the direct burning we do when we drive car or other vehicle, but also to how we end up doing it indirectly. Many countries generate electricity using gas, which is very harmful to the environment, since toxic gases are discharged into the atmosphere. Furthermore, companies utilize fossil fuels to power their production operations, spewing harmful gases and pollutants into the atmosphere. Furthermore, according to article Matthews January and Synod, Armstrong does not think that global warming is uncaused, and he is not a climate skeptic. For instance, he has said a significant amount of global warming is due to the human activity. The main culprit is fossil fuels.
I think the evidence is weak because even fossil fuels are bad for the environment. Why are they still in use, and what the benefit of fossil fuels? It's useful byproducts. The way we live has been transformed by plastic. Look about you. How many plastic things do you see now? You are probably holding something made of plastic right now. Plastic, of course, have their drawbacks, particularly when used as a single-use item and then discarded. Plastic would not exist without fossil fuels, and it is still utilized to produce the bulk of plastic items today. Based on what I have read on application of society benefit of plastic, they express that lifestyle in 2030 will be recognizable in many aspects from life now. Plastic will have a far larger role in our life throughout this period. Plastic are already becoming smart, and they will very certainly play a significant part in our future life.
Thank you, Ms. Nurzahia. Let's move to our next panel, which is panel 3, Ms. Nur Nabila binti Azmi. Ms. Nur Nabila, what is your point of view and your suggestions or any recommendations to prevent these global warming issues together?
Thank you, moderator. I will discuss about the effect of global warming on agriculture. Agriculture is dependent on weather parameters such as ambient temperature, groundwater status, relative humidity, and other factors that influenced by global warming. Weather change play a major role in a country's agricultural production and economics. All agricultural products are vulnerable to environmental change or inconstancy. Therefore, the United Nations has released a report on the negative impact of global warming. Next, the report warns of reduced crop quantity and quality due to the reduced growth period following high level of temperature rates. There are also increased weight, blight, harmful insects in agriculture crops. Based on the article I have studied, the author Janwi Saini and Rajan Bhatt 2020 they mentioned that temperature affected the overall plant development and can yield in its own way an expansion in temperature by 20 Celsius, achieve a 3 to 10% decline in grain yield or crops such as grain, rice, groundnut, and soybean. It's shown that global warming gives a negative effect on agriculture.
The evidence you mentioned sounds valid because forests are also significant reservoirs of organic carbon and they can remove carbon dioxide and pollution from the air, contributing the biosphere stability and perhaps influencing the greenhouse effect. Deforestation in the tropics is responsible for up to 90% of the present net emission of biotic carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. As a result, deforestation is a significant potential carbon source. When a forest regenerates carbon is returned to terrestrial system through the absorption of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere into new plant material. This illustrates how deforestation causes more carbon dioxide to accumulate in the atmosphere. The process of photosynthesis will be slow as carbon dioxide levels rise. As a result, plants will be unable to carry out photosynthesis, resulting in deforestation. Additionally, I found the similar opinion from article GM Woodwell. Some believe that increased carbon dioxide in the atmosphere may enhance carbon storage in the Earth's remaining forests, therefore offsetting the release from deforestation. According to the research provided here, there is no such impact. Deforestation appears to be the most significant biotic influence on atmospheric carbon dioxide.
Thank you, Ms. Rabinowski Azmi. Next, we move to our last panel for today's for discussion, Ms. Nur Aisha Shafika. Ms. Aisha, I heard that you will be pointing out the solutions on this issue. That seems interesting. Go ahead.
Thank you to the Wanu Shahira as a moderator for this forum. My first point solution of the global warming is we should plant more trees. As we know, plants many of trees are the most cost-effective way of global warming. It is because trees can absorb the gas of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Planting more trees around the world helps to maintain the healthy soils and humidity levels in the air. It all starts with trees controlling the water cycle. Wherever they reside, trees absorb air and transfer it back into the atmosphere, effectively filtering and managing humidity levels. Trees improve air quality by filtering dangerous dust and pollutions from the air we breathe, such as ozone, carbon monoxide, and sulfur dioxide. Trees also release the oxygen where all the living things in the earth need.
I agree with your point, but planting tree may take up too lot of time. This is because tree cannot grow in just few days. It needs more than 10 years to grow up mature. In the meantime, while waiting for the tree to grow, the global warming may have been worse. Furthermore, it will need high cost since we need to buy the tree, looking for suitable place to plant the tree, or the fertilizer also needs to buy for the trees. It is also use more energy of manpower to plant and look after the trees. Based on article I have studied, the author Laura Olenian 2020 said that according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, forestry will play a critical role in reducing carbon emission. The cost of preserving forests, preventing harvest and deforestation, and planting trees was computed using a price model developed by the researcher. The results were made in the International Journal of Forestry Economics. Thus, plant tree is the best solution to reduce global warming.
Another factor related with this global warming is rainforest destruction is a major cause of carbon dioxide release. Trees and forests are known as carbon sinks because they store carbon dioxide while growing. Trees are essential for absorbing the carbon dioxide we exhale and trapping the heat released by human activity. When humans cut down rainforests or are destroyed by wildfires, large amounts of carbon dioxide are released into the atmosphere. This contributes to the greenhouse effect and increases the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and in turn contributes to global warming. Based on an article, large-scale tropical deforestation drive extreme warming, Zapatello et al. 2020 in his study found that the effect of large-scale deforestation that has occurred within the first 2 decades of the 21st century had contributed to year-round extreme warming in the tropics. My suggestion to overcome this problem by energy saving, for example, reduce the use of vehicles such as motorcycles and cars and use public transport. Turn off lights and electronics when not in use. Besides, practice reduce, reuse and recycle. For example, buy reusable items and bring your own bags when shopping. In addition, tree planting. This is because trees function to absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and in turn release oxygen.
I'm sorry I have to disagree with panel 1 about the agriculture give negative effect of global warming. There are positive effects of global warming include increased crop productivity due to the fertilization effect caused by increased carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere, expansions of the area available for production of tropical and subtropical crops. Moreover, according to the article from Chang-Gil Kim, expansion of 2 crop farming due to the increased cultivation period, reduction of winter crop damage caused by low temperature, and a reduction in the number of people who live in tropics and subtropic areas. It showed that global warming can have positive and negative impact on the agriculture sector. It is very important to formulate adaptation strategy that can maximize the opportunity and minimize the cost. It affects the main area of production in a different way.
I've noted from panel 2. Panel 2 have discussed about causes that worsen this global warming issue on Earth. She wanted everyone to be aware of the causes that lead to global warming. She also mentioned burning fossil fuels by vehicles, electricity generated using gas or coal, and factories for their productions are harmful to the environment because contains large amounts of toxic gases released in the atmosphere when it gets burned. Next, second causes that provided is deforestation, openly by irresponsible humans. She mentioned deforestation is one of the major causes that lead to global warming issue. In the atmosphere, there will be less oxygen and higher carbon dioxide released because human selfishness, and this thing about money with demolition of forests and trees. Panel 2 argued that because of population pressures by country, economics, and internal social and political factors can hasten forest loss. The solution provided by panel 2 in order to curb these causes, the usage of fossil fuels should be avoided by users. Panel 2 suggests to buy a food that is grown and produced in their region in order to less petroleum wasted and avoid taking processed meals. Next, solution for deforestation by reforestation. She stated reforestation will assist long-term restoration since carbon dioxide in the atmosphere need a new approach. She pointed out her view that strict industrial restrictions and development of non-carbon emitting energy resources are required.
My second point of view for causes global warming is deforestation. Government and authorities are implicated in larger-scale deforestation. Since deforestation allows more carbon dioxide to remain suspended in the atmosphere, it is a major contributor to global warming. Based on the articles I have read by Fonsai and Paras, they state that deforestation in Brazil already contributes significantly to global greenhouse gas, as does the virtually total replacement of Brazil's Amazon forest with pasture, both of which contribute to global warming. Besides, I obtained this information from a journal article from Bruno Gravet that states that almost of Europe and most of the rest of the world were once wooded. The trees were primarily cut down for fuel, construction materials, and to make room for agriculture. The clearing of the woods was one of humanity's most significant and monumental achievements. Around half of the world's wood have vanished. That's all from me.
I disagree with the point, as we know deforestation is beneficial and gives us advantage in many ways. One of the possible and a significant advantage of deforestation is extraction of essential natural resources, such as timber and charcoal. All of these natural resources are important of industry and the commercial sector which require them for producing other goods and services. Hence, deforestation plays an important role in the economics. Proof of the country Hafner and it defined that structured wooden houses which the principle of sustainability in mind might provide future generations with the opportunity to acquire value when the building is rebuilt. The woody substance may subsequently be utilized as a source of energy or, if constructed properly and without chemical treatment, as a material. As a result, wooden timber houses is an excellent method to address environment.
I've noted from panel 2. Panel 2 have discussed about causes that worsen this global warming issue on Earth. She warned everyone to be aware of the causes that lead to global warming. She also mentioned burning fossil fuels by vehicles, electricity generated using gas or coal, and factories for their productions are harmful to the environment because contains large amounts of toxic gases released in the atmosphere when it gets burned. Next, second causes that provided is deforestation, openly by irresponsible humans. She mentioned deforestation is one of the major causes that lead to global warming issue. In the atmosphere, there will be less oxygen and higher carbon dioxide release because human selfishness, and this thing about money with diminishing of forests and trees. Panel 2 argue that because of population pressures by country, economics, and internal social and political factors can hasten forest loss. The solution provided by panel 2 in order to curb these causes the usage of fossil fuels should be avoided by users. Panel 2 suggests to buy a food that is grown and produced in their region in order to less petroleum wasted and avoid taking processed meals. Next, solution for deforestation by doing reforestation. She stated reforestation will assist long-term restoration since carbon dioxide in the atmosphere need a new approach. She pointed out her view that strict industrial restrictions and development of non-carbon emitting energy resources are required.
Next, my point is the effect of global warming on weather. Extreme weather is becoming more frequent and instant as a result of global warming. For example, warming causes more rain to fall in heavy rains. Between downpour, there are also extended dry interval. Dry is increased by this as well as increased absorption due to higher temperature. Therefore, heat wave has become more often and powerful while very cold day has decreased. According to the article that I have read, the author Betty J. Denier and William P. Frank 2010, they mentioned that the impact of global warming includes severe weather events, massive flooding and severe drought. Currently support 1.3 billion people in India and China, causing flooding from melting glacier could submerge the commercial center of Shanghai and Shenzhen. The impact on the water supply in both China and India will be severe. This illustrates that global warming has an impact on the weather as well. First, my suggestion is those responsible must resolve the issues of global warming as soon as possible in order to avoid more severe consequences. It is because many effects of global warming that benefits. Second, the authorities intend to take action against those who engage in large-scale illegal logging. With this, we can ensure that forest long-term viability. It is because over the courses of its life, a single tree will absorb 1 ton of carbon dioxide. Thus, it can reduce global warming.
Excuse me, I want to argue with the effect of the global warming that Nabila stated. I agree with your view, but global warming also gives effect on human health. Global warming has the potential to cause many of the serious change in the environment with the potential to have negative impact of human health. Besides that, human health is expected to be severely harmed as a result of global warming. The people of the countries that has contributed the least of global warming are the ones who are most vulnerable to this and illness affected by increased temperature. People with heart problems, especially those who live in already warm environments, are more sensitive to global warming because their cardiovascular systems must work more to keep their bodies cool. Hot temperature rise ozone levels, which can harm people's lungs tissues and causes issues for asthmatics and those with lungs illness. Fayon L in 2020 mentioned that the death from extreme heat in Europe could be raised by 30,000 times in case of the no additional adaptation. Hence, we can conclude that human health also affected by global warming.
So next, we're gonna conclude from the panel 3. Based on panel 3, she has discussed about the effect of global warming issue. First and foremost, effect I have mentioned is agriculture that depended on weather parameters. She mentioned weather change plays a major role in the country's agricultural production and economics, and agricultural products are vulnerable to environmental change or inconsistency. Next, the effect of global warming on weather and earth. From her research, extreme weather is becoming frequently and intense as a result of a global warming that causes more rain to fall in severe heavy rains. She argued that it's dry diverse between downpours. She also mentioned about heat waves that have become more often and powerful, while very cold days have decreased. She have pointed out her suggestion for solution on this hot issue that those responsible must resolve this issue as soon as possible to avoid more severe consequences happen. This is because there is more effect than benefits with global warming, and why Penalty suggests for the authorities in hand to take actions against those who engage in a large-scale illegal logging. From these suggestions, the panel hopefully can ensure the forest's long-term viability.
My second point of the solution is recycle more. Recycling reduces energy usage, which helps to minimize greenhouse gas emissions. They use a recycled resource in the manufactures to new items reduce the consumptions for virgin materials. This prevents the release of greenhouse gases that otherwise come from the harvest or mining of virgin resources. Waste prevention and smart purchase are more effective at lowering greenhouse gas emissions effect of energy use. When we buy fewer items or reuse them, we use less energy to extract, transport, and process materials from manufacturing. Purchasing product manufactured from recycled materials instead of virgin resources, such as paper, plastic, and metal, also helps to reduce the energy consumptions. I have suggestion for the solution, which is Plans 3. The parties involved must concentrate on the solutions to solve the issue of the global warming, such as they need to find people who want to volunteer to plant the trees and the person who willing to give their energy to grow up the tree. The solution for the recycle more is the parties that involve must find the ways to pursue and attract the people to recycle the product or the things that they can recycle. The person concerned can make a poster about the competitions of by making anything use their creativity from the recycled things, such as make a vase from a bottle and so on. Okay, that's all from me in the solution of the global warming. Thank you.
Sorry for interrupt. I disagree with the point, as we know deforestation is beneficial and gives us advantage in many ways. One of the possible and a significant advantage of deforestation is extraction of essential natural resources, such as timber and charcoal. All of these natural resources are important of industry and the commercial sector, which require them for producing other goods and services. Hence, deforestation plays an important role in the economics. Proof of the country Hafner and it defined that structural wooden houses which the principle of sustainability in mind might provide future generations with the opportunity to acquire value when the building is rebuilt. The woody substance may subsequently be utilized as a source of energy or, if constructed properly and without chemical treatment, as a material. As a result, within timber houses is an excellent method to address environmental.
Next, move to our last panel, which is panel 4. The last panel of this forum discussion pointed out the solutions for this global warming issue. She suggests for tree plantations, since these are the most cost-effective way because trees can absorb the gas of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. She stated planting more trees will help maintain healthy soils and humidity levels on Earth. Besides that, trees also improve air quality by filtering dangerous dust and pollutants from the air like ozone layer, carbon monoxide, or sulfur dioxide. Next, the panel also suggests with recycling activities will reduce carbon emission. By recycling, energy usage are not wasted and intends to minimize greenhouse gas emissions. She mentioned waste prevention and smart purchases are more effective in lowering greenhouse gas emissions effects on energy use. The panel pointed out her view that if it's about fewer items are used then, we use less energy to extract, transport, and process materials for manufacturing. Purchasing product manufactured from recycled materials instead of virgin resources such as paper, plastics, and metal also helps to reduce energy consumption. Apart from that, the panel provided her recommendations that in tree plantations activities help parties involved must concentrate and ready to take full responsibility on the solutions to solve the issue of global warming. Besides, in recycling solution is avoid the energy wasted. Parties that involved must find a ways to persuade and attract people to recycle. Next, I believe global warming issue is one of the biggest issues since it affects all Earth living and slowly destroys the Earth, and it is prevalent in today's world. Moreover, it has become a very dangerous environmental issue which we must resolve as soon as possible, or soon we will find it hard to survive this planet. Every person is responsible to take care of this Earth and needs to contribute equally in healing the Earth, and may help to help prevent this global warming issue. Furthermore, we must immediately prevent all those activities which are causing global warming to be continued. There are many changes we can bring about in our life, both big and small, to prevent this global warming and save our planet. Most importantly, replace all the ordinary bulbs with LED lights. It will help reducing the use of energy by a massive amount. Similarly, do not waste that energy. Instead of becoming more dependent, we need to reduce our dependence on fossil fuels and electricity gradually. Apart from that, options for eco-friendly options like solar energy and wind power. Remote solar energy is one of the cleanest sources of energy, and it is an extremely effective way of the household more efficient and sustainable. Solar panels do not use any water to generate electricity. They don't release harmful gases into the environment, and the source of their energy is abundant. In a nutshell, global warming issue has affected Earth living and given a huge destroy. Here I have presented the problems and recommend solutions and solutions to prevent these global warming issues together. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for lending us your time today for attending this forum discussion. Also, a big clap for our speakers and panelists for today. Thank you very much, Ms. Alena, Ms. Zahia, Ms. Nabila, and Ms. Ira Aisha for addressing this interesting topic. Thank you so much. That's all from us for today. Thank you.